And I feel like this is so secret that I'm actually going to go inside my little cubby hole over here, and I'm going to show you from inside the cubby hole because it's super secret. Okay, so before I share this super secret system, if you are someone that is creating an impact through content and looking to grow your following at scale, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for regular videos on how to do it. I've been looking for ways to land fast guest spots on podcasts to grow my following, both on my podcast and on social, but it's so hard to do it until I've worked out this system for making it much, much easier. And it works in 3 ways. So number 1 is we use a massive podcast database to harvest out email addresses of podcasts that are in your niche, that are relevant and that you would be a good guest on. Number 2 is we mail all of those podcast hosts, but we do it with dynamic emails that are actually customized, that don't just look like some generic ask, that are going to land spots. And then number 3, we line up the guest spot. We're going to work through all of those emails, put the bookings in the calendar and make all of the guest spots happen. And then we're going to run this process over and over so that we can keep the guest spots coming in. That's exciting, right? That's why it's super secret, and that's why I'm doing it from this cupboard, but I'm going to need to get out the cupboard to show you exactly how it works. Okay, so pens down everybody. Here is the first step. We're going to go to a website called PressHunt. PressHunt is a massive database of over 200,000 podcasts with all of the details of all of their podcast hosts for you right there. Now, just FYI, there is a slight cost to this, but look, that's the way that these things work. I can't do everything for you for free.
Oh, Dan, I thought this whole process was going to be free, and everything I want to do should cost absolutely nothing.
It doesn't. It's going to cost something, but I'm going to show you a discount code to make it a lot cheaper, and you're only going to need to pay this price once, and then you can be guesting on podcasts for the rest of your life and sitting with your feet up on some nice beach somewhere with your microphone. I don't know where this metaphor is going. Alright, so we're on PressHunt right now, and here we are with a quick listing of some podcasts. Now, I'm on a free account right now, so I can see like absolutely nothing. There's like 3 there. But let's go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go to account down here, and the option I want is the startup option because I want the ability to make a media list. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, the countdown is $129! Well, look, check this out. I'm going to hit buy now. I'm going to type in early adopters. Boom, $64.50. 50% off. Check that out. But this is going to get you started with thousands of podcasts for only $64.50. I mean, come on, guys. Seriously. And by the way, I'm not getting paid for this discount code. I just went on one of those, I just Googled like PressHunt voucher code and I found it. So, Alright, so jumping over to my now premium PressHunt site, here is the podcast database, and you can see, look at these numbers, 37,000, 28,000, 26,000. These are all the listings in PressHunt that you can be getting in touch with. So many podcasts, and you can see how the podcasts are listed here. Here is the podcast name, here is the podcast host. Sometimes that's a company, most of the time it's an actual person, which is much more useful. There's the email address, there's the category, there's a link to the website, and loads, right? And it's all here. And if you go on the left-hand side and hit show 20 results, you can make it to 50 results, and we want to do that for the next step. Okay, so now we've got it on 50 podcasts, we want to go to the search and type in the name of our niche. So in this case, I want to be getting on coaching podcasts, so I can see now I've typed in coaching, and I can see all of the different podcasts that are related to coaching right here. Look, just for this one word coaching, there's 16 pages of 50 podcasts, which with my super fast speedy maths, 800 podcasts for you to be contacting. Go down to add to list, hit media list, and just start adding them to your big list. Now you're just going to hit media list on the left hand side, click media list again, and here's all the podcasts that I've put in my list. Now I'm going to hit download CSV and check this out. Here's the email address of all of the people that run this podcast. So now we're going to start sending out mass emails to all these people, but we're not going to make all those emails the same because that would just suck and you'd just be like one of those people that sucks a lot. We're actually going to do a little bit of research so that these emails have a much higher chance of someone actually coming back saying, oh, hey, this guy's for real, I actually want him on my show, and let's get this thing booked in. Alright, here's my Gmail account, and you can see all of these unread ones. These are all people coming back from podcast guest pitches. This is a system that really works. So now we're going to go ahead and create a template in Gmail. So we don't need an email automation tool right now because we actually want to tailor each email that we send out to make sure it lands well. So this one's from me to reach out to other coaching podcasters. And here's the subject. It says podcast guest pitch in the subject, which is always a nice line. People open that thing because they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. Hi, name. I've been following your podcast for a while and really enjoyed the recent episode on episode name and love the insights on custom paragraph. I wondered if you'd be interested in having me on your show to talk about the subject that you want to talk about. Some background about me, some things I can do, a list of additional topics I can cover, and then some details on my social channels, how many people that you can offer them from your following that might be interested and might be able to boost their audience as well. So you need to write your email template up front and decide which things you want as variable fields. I would suggest variable fields for anything that has some kind of personalization or some kind of recognition of their effort, right? So if you're saying you've listened to their podcast, make sure you put an episode name in there and make sure you put some takeaways from that episode in your template. So I'm going to go ahead and add these into my spreadsheet with each variable field as a new column in my spreadsheet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly visit their website and just make sure I know what their name is, a little bit about the podcast, and a little bit of detail so I can fill these in. You don't want this process to take a long time. It should be like 10 seconds for each one, but you should be adding it in, otherwise it's just not going to feel like this email's coming from a real person. Little bit of a pro tip with Excel here. If you insert a column and then you create a new column called hyperlink, for example, and then you type in the formula hyperlink, it's going to turn that URL in that cell into a hyperlink, which makes this way faster to just go ahead and click and look up that person's podcast. And here's their podcast. Looks pretty awesome to me. Coaching Cafe, Finding Your Passion and Purpose. And then I'm going to look on the left-hand side here in the details to see if I can find out the podcast host's name there. Nothing there, but if I scroll down a little bit, I can see Life Coach Erin here is talking here, right? Life Coach Erin will discuss her style of coaching that she helps women move forward in their lives. Awesome. So I can just type Erin and the team here, and I know that's going to land well. Next one is the episode for Erin, and that's just called Talks to Life Coach Erin. And then next comes my custom paragraph. And the last one is the subject for the email. Remember, the subject is just a bit that goes after podcast guest pitch in this particular template. And I only have two subjects. I've got one for when I'm reaching out to people to talk about careers, and I've got one for when I'm reaching out to talk to people about coaching. So this might just be the same for all of them. Now remember, in the template, I also listed some additional topics that I could cover. This really covers the bases so that you're not just going all out and saying, I just want this one subject that I can talk about in the subject line. They can read through it and there's loads of different things that they can be considering. Okay, so now we're going to head over to Google Sheets and we're just going to copy everything on our spreadsheet and paste it into a new Google Sheet. You can just upload the sheet as Excel and then convert it into Google Sheets. I really don't care which way around you do it. We're going to use a free Chrome plugin called Yet Another Mail Merge. Now the great thing about Yet Another Mail Merge is one, it adds in all of those variable fields that we're using in each one of our columns, and two, it lets you send up to 50 emails every 24 hours. So remember when I made you that promise and I said to you, this is my system for getting 20 podcast guest spots every single week, this is the way you do it. If you were to send 100 emails in a week and 1 in 5 of them came back and offered you a guest spot, that is 20 in a week. Now, with this system that I've given you, you could be sending up to 350 emails in a week. You could easily be hitting 50 or potentially 75 podcast interviews in the bag every single week. Now, I didn't want to put that in the YouTube description because I thought people would look at that and go,
well, that's not going to be impossible.
But it is entirely possible if you want to put the work in. So now we're going to send it out. I'm just going to go to add-ons and I'm going to go to Yet Another Mail Merge. And then on this next screen, ignore the confusing advertising. Just hit continue. And then let's have a look at the template that I want to pick. I can pick my template out from this really big list down here. And then I can send receive a test email. You're going to want to test your email out. Make sure everything is working right. Hi, Erin and the team. I've been following your podcast for a while and really enjoyed your recent episode, Talk to Life Coach Erin, and loves the insights on ways to live better by making new steps every day. I wondered if you'd be interested in having me on your show to talk about how to design the life of your dreams. You can see those variable fields have been put into my template. And doesn't it read awesome, right? It really feels like I've actually listened to their podcast and paid some attention. And I have for a little bit, but I'm not going to go through every single podcast and listen to a ton of episodes. The yet another mail merge function actually tracks all of the statuses of all of the emails that you have sent, right? So here's my list, and you can see on this Q column right here, it says merge status, and you can see which ones have been opened, which ones have been responded to, that's from me, which ones have bounced, which ones have just sent. To each one that's only been opened but not been responded to, send them a chaser, and then just use yet another mail merge, just send them a templated chaser that you already have. Absolutely amazing. If you've enjoyed this video and you're not already a subscriber, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos on how to create an impact with your content at scale. Now you should also come over to my Facebook group, Content to Client, and get daily tips, tricks and tutorials on how to create awesome content and turn that into money for your business. And then lastly, of course, I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment on what your tips and tricks are for getting podcast guest spots, or even for just getting anything. You know, hey, this is social, whatever. Give me a content tip or trick that you have got in the comments and let me know what you thought of the video. Until next time, see ya.